Oh, I actually guess I could talk. What a concept. Um, well, looks like you're the first. And I can't type. God, I really screwed up. So just hanging out after watching, let's see, it must have been 70 or 80 degrees, 75 probably today. And I was just watching the crash in Pennsylvania caused by a snow squall, and Black Bear Pass in Colorado. Not a road I will ever, 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 ever go on. Nothing like watching from someone's dash cam as they roll off the side of a mountain. At least no one was really hurt. I mean, they were all kind of sort of flippant about it. Oh, yeah, the road's really not that bad. Just trashed my Jeep. Yeah, the weather's really bizarre. It seems like in the middle of the week, every week, here there's been like rain or snow. Oh, a dash cam on a Jeep. Just look up Black Bear Pass. I mean, there was one girl on the way I saw it, and the girl said um, something about somebody falling off a Black Bear Pass, and as she was driving down the road, a red Jeep fell off up above. It was switchbacks and rolled like down right in front of her, and then the video for the people in the red Jeep popped up, so I watched that. Quite interesting. Not a road I'm ever going on, but I don't really care for that type of height. Um, it was pretty interesting, though. I mean, it's got great views, but I don't even think I'd walk on the road because you'd probably get hit by a Jeep. So, yeah, the Philadelphia weather or the Pennsylvania weather was pretty fog and snow at the same time. That's pretty intense. I've driven through a lot of fog, like in the Central Valley in California, but not fog and snow at the same time. And I guess it just was like 1 minute you could see and the next minute you couldn't see. I guess there were like 50 vehicles, at least 50 vehicles, lots of semis. 3 people died. 24 people or more were injured. I think I like the guy who was filming on the side of the road, and it's like his charger he was out of his charger and his charger got smashed. And it's like, oh, I got to get my stuff out of my charger, but it's too dangerous. At least he realized it was too dangerous. And like, I saw 2 videos of people like flying out of the way, narrowly avoiding getting hit. So glad I live in the country. I don't think we ever have that many vehicles on the road at one time. Little fishies, AS, what's up? These are my mixed Cichlid Fry. They're about an inch, so I'm beginning to see some OBs, which I'll keep. And this is their last day in the 20-gallon. Tomorrow I'm moving them to a 65. And I tried to risk it for the biscuit. Oh, yeah. I'll tell you, I don't want to watch any of the food videos again. I'll just get hungry. But yeah, I went to my mom's the other day, and we went to the Sunrise Cafe, which really is like, or Sunrise Family Dining. It really is a hole in the wall, and no one, I mean, it's like only locals go there, and we're slowly going through the menu, and so far everything we've had has been absolutely excellent. Huge, I mean, the plates are like, they're big plates, and they're like totally full of food. My mom and I are at the age where we can share it, although we didn't yesterday, so I brought home like half of my chicken fried steak and real mashed potatoes with garlic in them. I ate all the vegetables. They were grilled carrots and squash, and they were really flavorful. Um, that restaurant just is really good. I've had their chili rellenos, which I think are the best chili rellenos I've ever had. Navajo taco was just like totally huge. And it's, for the amount of food you get, it's really affordable. I mean, I don't go out to eat very much because it's expensive, but you know, even if you're looking at $14 for a plate of food there, it's so huge. You know, if I order it, it's at least 2 meals. It's just like one of those hole in the wall local Tex-Mex with, and they have American food. Um, my mom said she was going to call it Diners and Dives because, you know, it really doesn't look like anything. Um, Before, well, probably about 10 years ago, that building was a restaurant called the Green Onion, which was a great place to buy heroin. And I mean, I only heard it from rumors. Um, well, I guess my son-in-law, it wouldn't be a rumor, but it was empty for probably 6 months. And, you know, Santa Fe's an hour away, and I drive past all the time. And my mom's caretaker said, "Oh, you really have to try this place." So she likes it so much, she's introduced like all her friends to it. And now, you know, when she goes, "Well, let's go out for lunch or breakfast. What do you want?" Everybody, all her friends are saying, "Let's go to the Sunrise." My mom says she's getting tired of it, but she's so tired of it. We went yesterday or the day before, whenever it was, day before, I guess. Yeah, we have this restaurant, they even have a guarantee for lunch that if you go in there, you know, you'll get in and out on your lunch hour. So during till about 1:30, it's pretty crowded. They close at 3. We haven't been there for breakfast because that means I have to like probably wake up before I go to sleep. But they serve breakfast all day, so I think next time we're having waffles because it just looks so good. And you know, there used to be a place called Bobcat Bite, and they had great hamburgers, and they moved, and it was kind of, now I don't know, it's kind of um, there's a really good seafood restaurant, Morisco's, and well, there was one. Then the brother opened another one. Then I think it's three brothers. One got open near us in Espanola. Now there's one in Albuquerque. And they're pricey, but really good. Um, their seafood cocktails are wonderful. A lot of variety in the seafood that's in there: squid, octopus, oysters, shrimp, pieces of fish. It's really good. We have a lot, the local restaurants here, I think in a lot of ways are better than the expensive ones. I'm not real fond of super expensive restaurants because they're overrated. I mean, if I'm going to spend money, I want to eat. I want to get full. um, my brother's always worked at like 4 and 5 star restaurants, and one in Santa Fe, Osteria was really good. They served Northern Italian food, so, well, with pasta, you always get a lot. But I mean, like the mussels, you got a lot of mussels or shrimp or whatever, seafood was on your item of choice. Um, but I've been to a lot of what people consider the best restaurants in Santa Fe, and I kind of think they suck. I mean, my brother's a really good. Hey, what's up? No, I don't think fancy food is just not for filling you up. I mean, with my brother, I had 3 medallion. My brother worked at a restaurant called The Cellar, which was a 5 star, and you get like 3 little medallions of beef and 3 asparagus. Oh, I forgot the fourth one across the top. And dinner. I mean, the dessert was wonderful, but it was like the size of a cigarette pack with raspberry on top of it, and fancy driblings everywhere. And I will be right back. Ah, so chat amongst yourself for a minute since nobody else is here, and start thinking of your favorite food. I know what my favorite food is. It was just, I would say, wrong dog barking. Well, let's see. Yeah, my parents, for their anniversaries, used to go to super fancy restaurants. And my mom actually had, well, I can't call him a boyfriend, a man friend who was courting her. But if it wasn't super expensive, he wouldn't go. And he just didn't know what he was missing out on those hole in the wall restaurants. Yeah, sometimes I wish I didn't have to eat. During the Carter administration, it was really bad because everybody was using peanut oil. And I'm allergic to peanuts. And Frito-Lay, oh man, they would just like totally load up on the peanut oil in all their chips. So I couldn't eat Frito-Lays for a long time. Oh, I like shrimp. My favorite though is sushi though. I mean, I could eat sushi every day. And it's not all raw like everybody thinks. Except the rice would kill me because I have diabetes. And one of these days I should actually check my blood sugar. But it's been so high that I just didn't want to check it. Which is really bad, but and let's see. I've actually been getting stuff done. I'm a foodie only because my parents have taken me to virtually every kind of restaurant that you could imagine. Oh, now fancy desserts, that's another thing. Although my daughter makes a really good tres leche cake. And it's just, I mean, when I went down there last time for Aquashella, she said, "Is there anything you really want, Mom?" And I said, "Just a tres leche cake." She started laughing. "Okay, we got to go to the store." At least I didn't eat the whole thing by myself. Can't do that anymore. I remember when my parents started eating less, and as I'm finishing down a hamburger, French fries, etc., and a dessert, and it's like, I just can't see how they eat so little. And now it's like half a sandwich, I'm done. Yeah, Philadelphia rolls are good. Um, but we have a place here that makes them, but they don't use cream cheese, or the cream cheese isn't good, I should say. I don't know what brand they're using, but I don't like it. Sort of Jewish sushi. Oh, I should make some of that. That actually sounds good. I mean, I have cream cheese. Buy some lox, roll it up in some nori, and voila! I can have a Japanese bagel. Oh yeah, I've had baklava. One of my mom's friends makes killer baklava. But the best thing he makes is a fruit cake, which is so infused with rum, a half a piece will put you to sleep. That's the only fruit cake in the world. Yeah, China buffet is good. I just have to watch the peanut and peanut oil. No, I'm supposed to forget the rice. I got diabetes, and rice is really bad for diabetes. I mean, I went when I first went, oh, I totally forgot about that, you guys. Whoa, thank you for reminding me. When I first went to get a marijuana card, I went to this clinic and he took my blood sugar. And the poor guy came in and he looked kind of pale and he said, I'm not sure how to tell you this, but your blood sugar is over 500. And I said, what is it? And he said, I don't know. My meter doesn't go any higher than that. And I said, nah, it's okay. I had sushi for lunch. Oh, well, I like, like Czech cereal, the rice flavor, gluten free. And it's like, they make it sound like it's just newly gluten free so you can eat it. And it's like, rice has always been gluten free. But people don't know it. I mean, or a lot of people don't know it. They just don't pay attention to that kind of stuff. So yeah, I have sitting here since now the beginning of March, my medical cannabis program patient application. I guess I should get off my butt and turn it in. I totally forgot about it. Oh well, I guess I'm just spacey. Too much going on. Yeah, I still eat rice. I just know that I'm gonna, pay for it in the end. Although I did find this guy Sugar MD who seems to be pretty good, and as far as diabetes stuff. Yeah, well, see, that's the whole thing. Said I don't have that $200. That's like more like a third of what I make a month. Um, and since my doctor did all the paperwork and I kind of just like have to mail it in, I really should just mail it in. Probably just like forgot about it because I don't know. I've like been so focused on trying to move the 150-gallon tank in and move everything around, and I just physically there's no way. And trying to get help, huh? Well, considering I just ate 155, blood sugar is not bad because I just had 2 pieces of pizza, which really isn't good. Yeah. Um, and it's so stupid because I've even told my mom who has a card, look, we'll go, I'll buy, 2 things of the cream and your edibles. And she goes, no, I just can't afford it. I said, no, Mom, I'll buy you some of this stuff. And she gets so freaked out about it. So when I told her I was getting a card, she goes, oh, you don't need to do that. I have one. It's like, Mom, too confusing. But yeah, there's like my doctors, when we discovered exactly how high my blood sugar was after the last doctor was neglectful in giving me my meds. He said, all you need to do is like cut out carbs and walk 45 minutes a day. And it's like, okay, if I could walk 45 minutes a day, I'd be more than happy to. And when I found, went to my last appointment, it's like with a bad knee and gout and my back, until I get the steroid shot, I'm not walking anywhere. And he goes, well, do you even like to walk? And I said, I have fish. I want to go out and collect choya, wood, rocks, flagstone. I want to go down to the water and go fishing. And I can't even walk down to the water or climb down to the water. So it's like, yes, I do have a reason to get off my butt. I mean, I do know people who don't like to get off their butt, but I need more flagstone. And it's like kind of a pain to, or I don't know, I just feel kind of weird. Hey, brother, can you please come with me and help me get flagstone because I can't walk that far? Kind of makes me feel useless. Well, at least when I went, the doctor kind of got the picture of what was going on. And he says, well, what if you take like ibuprofen or Tylenol? Does that help with the pain so you can walk more? And it's like, no. Well, have you ever found anything? And I said, yeah, just, the marijuana cream, but I don't have a card. And he goes, oh, well, that's no problem. First time I've ever had a doctor do that. I mean, it's like, you can only get Vicodin. Not that I like Vicodin. If you're a junkie around here, it seems. And it's just like, yeah, I want to go do things. I just can't right now, which gets me frustrated, like moving these tanks around. But these guys have to be moved because I think there's like, I don't even know how many's in here. There's 30 or 40. They're now an inch long. When I got them, they were between, well, nobody was bigger than a half an inch. So they were fine in the 20, but they're getting bigger, so I'm going to put them in a 65 grow out. Because it looks like there's a few really nice OBs in here. And then I'll just like, half of me wants to just like bite the bullet and move tanks. But I've already done that once and I couldn't like move for 2 days afterwards. Which just gets me more frustrated. And then, my mom will call and say, are you coming down? Oh no, Mom, I can't make it. I'm just too sore. So then she calls my dad. My dad calls me and says, your mother says that you're falling apart and you can't move. And you're just laying in bed all day, not moving. And it's like, no, I'm not dying, Like my mom always exaggerates a little bit. Okay, a lot. Oh, the trailer thing was actually for my mother's paintings. And that's another thing that I'm working on is putting up the metal shelves, putting her paintings on the metal shelves. Then I have to go through and catalog all her paintings because in the last year and a half or so, the labels have fallen off. And there's so much writing on the boxes, who knows what's in them. So that's like another thing I have to do. And my mom keeps threatening to come up here, and it's like, Mom, you can't lift anything. You can't carry anything. Oh, but I can write. And it's like, yeah, I'm sorry you're here, and I saw your truck. That really sucks. I've been without a vehicle several times living out here, and when you live in the sticks, it sucks. I mean, I'm at the very, very tail end of a lawsuit right now that I didn't go to I think I went to the doctor like twice. And I said, the thing that I want to get through to the other, to the opposing lawyer, whatever, is that if I would go to the doctor in Espanola, which is like 40 miles away, and I didn't get out of the doctor's appointment by the time the last bus or the last transport went up to my house, I would have to spend the night outside in Espanola all by myself, and that's not something I would do. So rather than get stuck, I just didn't go. Because it's like there's, my neighbor works, so like he can't take me to the doctor. No one's going to drive 40 miles, you know, or up from Santa Fe to take me to the doctor. So I just didn't go. And when I did go to the emergency room about 4 days after the accident, and the emergency room doctor said, "Oh, you can turn your head, you're fine." And it's like, I have 2 cervical fusions. I don't necessarily think my neck is fine. So it just exasperated everything, and over the years it's gotten worse. Oh no, I'll never get stuck in Espanola at night. I mean, maybe 30, 40 years ago I could handle it, but not now. There's no way. I mean, there's too much drugs. Um, it's just not a good place to be stuck overnight. But yeah, I can understand the being without a vehicle. Who was it? Who was the other one that got in a car accident? That got in a truck accident or the car accident? I remember seeing somebody else when you were talking about it on a stream that they had just gotten into one also. No, I can't remember. Yeah, my mom's Eduardo. That's right. Yeah, my mom's friend a couple of weeks ago went up to some of the galleries, and it's a narrow, winding street. Checked to make sure there was no traffic. Opened her door, and someone came at about 40 miles an hour. It's like 15 to 25 on this road, and then you got to watch out. The cops estimated he was doing about 40 when he went around the corner and just totally took off her door. And I mean, she was really lucky because she had 1 foot out of the car already. Um, I mean, she was just really lucky. But obviously, she is. Oh, somebody else a couple days after? Wow. Yeah, I had a friend a couple years ago get into an accident. She has Great Danes, and I used to pick them up from the Denver airport and bring them down to Albuquerque. Oh, yeah. She said it was like a week before she even wanted to consider driving. Hey, still in ya? Oh, we're just talking about car accidents because everybody seems to be getting in car accidents recently. Well, not me right now, but yeah, she said it was. She said she looked at the door on the ground and then looked down and said her first thought was, thank God I still have my leg. And it's like, yeah, you're really lucky. But just like totally took her door right off. Well, he was going way too fast. The accident that I had in my Jeep that I'm on the tail end was right in front of a guy who had 2 identical 97 Jeeps in his yard. And he said he'd sell me parts really cheap. But luckily, I just got new tires. And when I got hit, it was sort of the horse trailer went into the side of my Jeep, and my tires were so good that it stuck to the ground and bent my frame. But that would have been totally killer because he had 2 parts Jeeps. And well, I'm still sort of fighting. I got paid for, but I'm still kind of fighting door problems with my last accident. But my neighbor will get it fixed eventually. Oh, it looks like there's a really orangey or yellow fish. May have to pull that guy. The dragon bloods are like so boring now. Yeah, that one has much more color than the others. Yeah, I sort of long for the days. I remember I had a 68 Dodge Coronet. And when I got hit in that, I remember getting out of the Coronet and turning around and seeing the front end of the little car that hit me, which was like crunched in and the radiator was leaking. And it's like, oh, I don't want to go see the back of my Coronet. And there was like some paint on the bumper. Didn't even wake my son up. And it's like, little cars may give up their life. Well, that's what they say anyway. But give me some good American steel. And that's why I drive a van. No, I have a minivan, so it's kind of aluminum. It dents pretty easily. But it works. It's got a great drivetrain. Looks like shit. How could you even think that Mississippi Hippie would be at fault? Us ladies are good drivers. Ooh, you are lucky. Rock gullies are not good for vehicles. Well, that's like that Black Bear Pass in Colorado. It sure did a number to the Jeeps that fell off. Sorry, got mesmerized by fish. Wow. I mean, I one time stuck my hand into about 50 baby ball pythons and probably had about, oh, um, yeah, my Oscars don't bite. I don't think I have anybody who bites anymore, except for one mouse. You're perfectly welcome. Our topic today is food. Not that we're talking about food, but if we need a topic, it's food. Because I think when I was thinking about what to talk about, I must have been hungry. Oh, yeah, and a video came up of somebody cooking bacon and eggs. And it had like that sizzling sound. And it was just like, well, that started the theme. And then I had to do a video because the bacon and the eggs look so good. And of course, besides breakfast, which I have any time of the day, you got lunch, and then you have dinner, and then you have desserts and snacks. And well, I used to eat once a day. I'm trying to eat twice a day. I think the last time I kind of locked up my brakes was when I was in Colorado, and everybody says that the semi missed the back of the van by about 2 inches when I spun around. I think it had to have been at least a foot. I don't think we were in that much danger, but the people in the back of my van, oh yeah. Yes, I'm having sad thoughts, June, because my poor Oscars are stuck in their little tank till I get help to move them into the big tank. I'm beginning to feel massive amounts of guilt. I actually thought about paying my mom's handyman, but I think he wants like $20 an hour. And being as when you're moving tanks, you have that downtime. I sort of have a hard time paying somebody $20 an hour for sitting there watching me drain tanks. Well, let's see. Breakfast. I do have a cup of coffee, well, mocha, with marshmallows. Um, I think it's more I kind of, unless until it's like 10 or 11, I'm just not hungry and I really don't want to eat most of the time. Um, I know I have to eat. So, I usually eat. Your name was too long. Well, we were just waiting for you to get another fish. So it would be only Oscars and a beta named Oscar. And you need an Oscar named Beta or Beta. 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 Whatever it is. Yeah, well, that's like, I did the disabled keeper of fish. And that was just too long. Well, Cichlid fishes is kind of long, but I like Cichlid fishes. Yeah, well, I'm to the age. I hit that age where you kind of don't eat as much as you used to. I remember when I used to be able to eat. Like, it was worth it to go to an all-you-could-eat buffet because you eat more than one plate. It's still worth going to like a Chinese all-you-could-eat because then you could just like eat shrimp and mussels and like all the seafood, which would cost you $12 for a plate of food. But with the price of food going up so much, it's like I'm going to be surviving on ramens and hot dogs. But I am going to, yeah, I like cold food, like cold pizza. The chicken fried steak that I got the other day was good when it's cold. Yeah, well, it depends on the buffet. We used to have Furs, which was an American buffet, and it closed. That was like my favorite, but I've been eating it Furs since before I was born. And after 60 plus years, it finally closed. And I didn't even know it was closing, so I didn't get one last meal there. And obviously, the Syndenoses are moving into the 65. Substitute food. We the other day went to 6 different stores looking for dog food. And it's like, well, I'm certainly not going to start eating dog and cat food if the stores aren't going to be, carrying it. I'm going to have to start switching the dogs and cats over to people food. I know how to make dog food. It's just sort of a pain in the butt. And I've decided all my dogs need to go on a diet anyway. They're all starting to get fat. And maybe it was just because over the winter. And now that it's warming up, they're actually going outside and playing. Because when they start playing in the bedroom, I tell them to stop. Ooh, a bright blue? How cool. I want one of the red, white, and blue bettas. Maybe. I don't know. I almost scored the perfect betta tank. I was a 40 long, but his wife wanted it gone ASAP and wouldn't wait 3 days. I was going to divide it into 3, but because right now I have a 20 long divided into 3 for my bettas. Because we're trying to cut down. That's true, and I actually have a lot of food that it's time to start rotating my surplus food. I probably have 6 or 7 at least, 9 5-gallon buckets of food, all in the silver, containers. 2 are not Oscars? What are you getting? Yeah, this last week I lost. Or was it the week before? Maybe it was like last Monday. I lost 5 Richardis, a Plecostomus, and then I noticed I lost my little dwarf parrotfish. But being a dwarf, he probably had some sort of weird issues going on. I just want to get everybody moved and then I'll be happy. Yeah, right. But yeah, so far I haven't lost anything in this tank of babies. They're all doing really good. And I'm not sure why the water looks so cloudy because it's clear when I take it out in a cup. It may just be the glass on the tank because this is one of the 20 hives that used to be in a fish store about 15, 20 years ago. Oh, well, yeah, convicts. They're convicts. They make lots of babies. I kind of like the pink convicts. And I saw pink marble convicts, which were pretty cool. The closest I have to a convict is a Honduran red point, which is, Starry Nights. New Oscar variants? I'm cutting down. I can't get more fish. It's actually I think it's a 3,500 lumens shop light, plant light. Well, a Honduran red point is basically a plain convict with a little bit of red on it. And they think they might actually just, they come from a different river, so they might have originally been regular convicts and somehow got into a different river and changed. Yeah, this is like a really old tank. I have had some cloudy tank problems, but that's what happens when you're moving tanks. You get those stupid bacteria blooms. And I finally learned to just leave it alone. The more water changes you do, the worse it is. And adding prime and bacteria and chemicals just... You think so? Because I was reading an article where they thought that they were just sort of convicts. It's kind of cool to think that the red points are their own species. Wow, 12 years behind schedule? Well, I'm not surprised. It's like someday they'll name the ruby greens. Hi, Chewy, after I've been talking to you. And they'll probably name them ruby greens. So, can Americans get fish from Canada? I had a green tank once. I couldn't see the fish. So maybe if Q Aquatics still has some Honduran red points, I could get some females from her. Although that's part of my plan is once I get the stupid fish room set up is to separate the red points or the ruby greens into their own tank. Because there's only going to be they recommend 3 females and 2 males. Well, I've only found one person that has the ruby greens. So, and I really, really like them. Yeah, I was just given 2 UV light things, and it's sort of like technology. I mean, I'm so smart I can't even get the stupid canister filters going. So I think I'm going to try that this week. I have 4 canister filters, and they'd probably really be good on the bigger tanks. Rather than I have internal sponge filters and HOBs on the back. And I'm now going through and throwing out all the broken HOBs because they're taking up space. And I'm tired of trying to fix them. And I'm too far away for anybody to come get them for parts. So I'm just taking out the impellers. And it's sort of like, unless you buy the exact same HOBs, yeah, well, I have an FX4, I think, some Marineland one, and 2 others that I don't know what brands they are. But they were all given to me. I just can't seem to make them work. And I was thinking of asking, I have tons of tubes, but they're all different. And I spent an hour today taking it to a tube and trying it on all the HOBs I had, see, it's the priming, I think, that gives me a problem. Well, so far I've thrown out one. I mean, it's really hard for me to get rid of things because I may need it. Or someone may need it. Not that anybody will come up here, but it's I'm sort of wondering what I have that I can make for rat toys. Oh, that's interesting. Let's see. I can only have the money to buy. I need 4 canisters would work because I'm getting rid of a lot of the smaller tanks. Yeah, I've been using all kinds of weird stuff to make rat toys. I have a broken castle, so I stuck that in with my rats. They just think that the aquarium decoration is the best thing in the world. They filled it full of shredded newspaper. Well, I just have to cut down on tanks. Yeah, I really like that idea, June. It's like a 15-inch tall castle, so it's big enough for the rats. Yeah, it sort of is interesting what the pH does as far as coloring and sex. I mean, because my friend has much, much softer water, and she had like almost all female guppies, I think. And I have, harder water, and I had like almost all male guppies. So she cut down and gave me all her female guppies. And yeah, see, it's just a matter of what can I consolidate. I mean, I could put the guppies and the platies together, but I kind of don't want the platies anymore. The guppies, I think I'm putting in the living room in the 30-gallon bow front. Which is missing part of the lid thanks to my brother not taking out of the car in time. And the glass got broken. But the teenage cichlids are ready to go into the big tank once I get it set up. The 1-inch Cichlid Fry will go into the 65. I have 120 long that I'm going to put the 3 coolie loaches and the red lizard catfish. And I think I have 3 Brochardes left. No, I don't have any of the spring guppies. They don't like my water. And I don't understand why. But I just, I don't have good luck with them. I do have a friend in Albuquerque who is having good luck with them. So, I don't know. I really don't have a lot of luck breeding guppies and platies for some reason. Oh, yeah. My mom has a night blooming cirrus, and her biggest one is about 6 feet tall. And she transplanted it 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago now, into a bigger pot, and it has 3 blooms and a ton more leaves. It's like mine is just kind of surviving. But I feed it fish water, so hopefully it will start feeling better. My T total, that I don't have a test for. That I think is the only thing that I don't have a test for. I mean, I still can't figure out why all the Brochardes and the Plecostomus died. I saved 2 Plecostomus and 3 Brochardes, but I tested the water and everything was like spot on, and they all croaked. So I just put them in another tank, and oh yeah, I can imagine. We don't have lawns. Um, no, I have test strips. I have lots of test strips, millions of them, and I have the 2 or 3 API kits. I'm learning to say no to people now, though. Oh, I might have another one. I didn't look to see what my dad's friend um, gave me. Well, problem with doing a giveaway for guppies because I have beautiful high fin platies and stuff, is just the cost of shipping. and food's getting expensive. I may have to start eating fish food. I mean, I now have the roaches and isopods eating fish food. They seem to love cichlid pellets. So they get, meat and spirulina vegetable pellets. So they get a complete great diet. So for TDS, don't I need like a meter or something for the total dissolved solids? I mean, I do have a filter on my water. Oh, I have test strips that have, okay, I know they're here. Ah. Okay. Alkalinity, pH, bromine, mono per sulfate, salt, hardness, free chlorine, total chlorine, lead, iron, manganese, copper, fluoride, and cyanuric acid. And then I have the aquarium. No, I definitely have, well, I have high pH. Um, but I think someone said that you have to get, okay, well, I'll have to get, I imagine it's called a TDS meter. Since it's almost the start of the month, I'll get one. It's time to clean up again. I can't find anything. Actually, let's see. High pH. You don't have TDS and you can have no minerals and a high pH. Well, I'm sure that we have minerals because we're on a well. Oh, thank you, June. I really appreciate it. It's like I'm almost afraid to move these guys. I don't want to lose them. Well, once I get the TDS meter, then I'll know. My pH in my water is 8 to 8.5. Alkalinity. Let's see. Okay, you guys, this is not to eat. Every time I stick a test strip in or go in to get water, everybody gets excited and thinks, oh boy. No, the guppies and platies have always been separate. I try and keep everything but, well, I'm trying to do, except for like the syndenosis, which don't breed, and the yo-yos, and the big plecostomus, which I have 2 of. Everything else I'm sort of trying for species-only tanks, except for the manganos, and Kenyes are in with the peacocks. but I want to move out the OBs, which I know are a hybrid. It just seems like, I was going through it, and I seem to have so many hybrids. It's just incredible. Okay, alkalinity says 180. Wow, this pH says 8. Ooh, really high salt, it says. Total hardness 425. No chlorine. No chlorine. No lead. No iron. No many other things. Okay, so that would be low TDS. Duckweed. I have duckweed in all my tanks. So would putting in okay, to make the TDS higher, would I use like crushed coral or something? Yeah. Look, those little babies are already squaring off. Okay, so maybe I have too soft of water. Oyster shell. Like, can I just get regular oyster shell from the feed store? Or do I have to get fancy oyster shell? Because I used to feed chickens oyster shell. And that I can just mix into the substrate. Okay. Well, at least it's the end of the month. So I can spend my what little free money I have. I have lots of buckets, and some of them are leaking. And like, I tried to get my brother when he took them outside to put out the leaky ones in one area, And so I was trying to clean some substrate, and I noticed when I went in there that the bucket was empty of water, and it was like, ah, great. So I put the substrate into a bucket that has a hole in it. So now I have to go find a just animal friendly. Okay. Well, I'll rinse it anyway, but yeah, I have buckets that are labeled like Oscars, Cichlids. Oh, I actually found media bags the other day. But then I'd have to figure out how to hide it. Yes, I'm worried about hiding things in the tank when, yeah, buckets with holes and cracks. Well, some of my buckets are like 5, 6, 7 years old, and they've gone through like freezing and really hot weather, and eventually they give out. I think that let's see, I have orange ones, which I think are Lowe's, and blue ones, which are Home Depot, or the other way around. But I'm sort of beginning to feel like the Tractor Supply white buckets are the better. Well, I've noticed in any group, you can like pick two groups and there'll be crossovers. Because, like, I have my cop watching friends. Yeah, I marked the video you put up. I just haven't had time. I've been trying to get my mom's paintings done. Well, I do have two camouflage buckets, and a neon green one. But the neon green one isn't really 5 gallons, even though it says it's 5 gallons. They cheated. Well, I think I just, yeah, but my buckets are labeled for which tank they're supposed to go in. I yeah, I can't remember where I got the camo one. Well, it's like they're cichlidicious fishes. I'm sure they taste good. I mean, I know people eat them, just like they eat discus. Well, I think any kind of fish pretty much gets eaten by somebody. Hey, Scott, are you having fun playing with Choya? Yeah. The oh, I I will need a certain size net, and I'll go grab it, and then I'll leave it at that tank, and then I can't find it, so I'll use whatever net. I mean, I have so many nets spread out all over. It's like I need to do a net collection. Ooh, what color buckets does Menards have? They never had human rights for women in Africa. But I do know how to get Nigerian scammers now. Because most Nigerian scammers come from an area in Nigeria where they have a unique kind of music called highlight. And if you green, ooh, we don't have Maynard the Menards anywhere around here. I should go see what I bet Big Red's buckets are red. I'll have to go check that out. God, I just have too many things to do. I need to clone myself. The school I wanted to send my kids to now has, in South Central LA, now has 2 schools in Africa. Although I'm not sure where they are. Yeah, I wish I inherited. No, actually, I don't wish I inherited $10 million. The worst thing that ever happened to me was when my ex inherited $7 million because he spent it in 7 years. I didn't get anything because it was an inheritance. And he even went so far as to spend the money he put into trust for the kids' education. Yeah, I'd kind of be wary of chemical buckets. I couldn't lift a 9 gallon. Well, I can't even lift a 5 anymore, but my house is my inheritance. Oh, it's sort of like sometimes people ask me if I'm ever leaving, and it's like I own a house that has no mortgage. I can't afford to leave. I'm stuck here forever, but that's okay. I kind of like it here. No, the next big place that's going to have humanitarian programs is Ukraine. And I guess it's been about 4 or 5 weeks since my mom heard from her second cousins who are in the Ukraine. And they say that the United States is going to take in a bunch of Ukrainian refugees, but they're not going to get here until 2023. And it's like, I think the refugees need to get out now. I have an RV. It's totally falling apart. But it has a really nice 440 engine. We should probably get rid of it one of these days. It's a 74 Dodge motorhome. Totally generic. I just couldn't do all the inning and outing of the RV anymore. My dad wanted to live the RV life, but he's happy living in Laguna Hills or wherever he's living, whatever Laguna he's living in, because they can go to the ocean and play on the beach, and it's nice, Southern California weather. Oh, yeah, that's true. No fish tanks. Yeah, that's another reason I'm not moving. I could never move these fish tanks. Yeah, it's dinner time. I eat at about 10. I still have a bite of pizza, which I think the dogs have all given up worshiping. Well, if you're not moving around, you could have fish tanks in your RV, but if you're driving around, you really wouldn't want fish tanks when you're driving around because the water would go everywhere. God, it seems like everybody's moving somewhere. Are you like just moving, hey, GRB? Are you just like moving apartments or towns? My dad's friend is moving because the landlord boosted his rent $1,500 a month. Ah, that's right, provinces. No, you are not eating my food. You are a fat hound. You are a very fat hound dog. The East Coast, that's a huge move. The guy who was almost my father used to live in Nova Scotia. That's a long move. Oh, my mom used to have African violets. They're beautiful. If it's so skinny, it probably doesn't have a home, and I think it loves you. So, what are you going to name the small stray black cat? If it snuck into your house, it probably does want to live there. And I do agree with only Oscars. A cat that chooses you are great cats. Well, don't feed it just wet cat food. They need kibbles, which help keep their teeth cleaner. Scoop out their kitty litter every day because just like, well, some people, most people, They don't like going in dirty kitty litter boxes. And give it lots of love. Oh, I wish you were closer, June. I have a cat that needs a house. I think every country in the world has stray cats and stray dogs. Because unluckily, there are people who don't take care of their animals. Oh, rag dolls. Those are cool. Too long ago, I don't even like thinking how long ago. I used to breed Korats. You're drooling on me, Boogie Woogie. Well, depending upon the cat's age, you may not feel anything. My mom's cat, I actually took to the vet, and even the vet didn't know whether it was a boy or a girl. Hey, there's nothing wrong with trailer trash. The lady we bought our property from, she put a really junk mobile on the next property. The property next to us uses a tax write-off, and one of her Hispanic workers was leaning against our propane tank smoking. So my late husband went out there and said, "Excuse me, you're leaning on the propane tank smoking. Can you please leave?" And Norma came over and started yelling at us, calling us white trash. And my late husband explained he was red trash and I'm brown trash. And the only white trash that was around was her. She got so mad, she called my parents. And my parents are like, she's over 21. She can kind of say what she wants. And we're not responsible for her behavior. But by raising me in a way, they are responsible for how I behave. Yeah, it's very nice to have a sanctuary. Mine's sort of a fish cave dog house. Right, Boogie? Is it a dog house? Well, it could still be sort of a sanctuary. Yeah, if I didn't have two roommates, it could be a hermit cave. Okay, well, boyfriend and brother. Your favorite cat is Booger. Booger Booger. Well, when I got him, his name was Bucky, and he just didn't look like a Bucky. And since he goes woogie woo, he was just like the best woogie woo, you know. And it's at a time when boogie woogie woo was very popular. Aw, how sweet. She must really love you if she's sleeping on your pillow. Okay, well, take it easy, June, and I'll talk to you later. Thank you for dropping by. Well, you're going to have to make a video of the new kitty. I bet if you play music, the kitty will like it. Maybe that's why she picked you. She likes your guitar playing. Because animals do like music. I like the experiments they do with octopus and different types of music, where some octopuses like rock and roll, some like classical. Just like people, they all have their own tastes in music. But if you find an octopus that likes Barry Manilow, you might have to kick its butt to the curb. I think having an octopus would be pretty cool. Ah, see? She probably heard you playing guitar and just wanted to hear the music. So, GRB, have you ever seen a movie called Autumn Rush or August Rush? Yeah, I don't think I'll ever go salty. But it would be a cool, that and a cuttlefish. Because I like, because they're cool looking too. And I definitely rather have an octopus than a seahorse. Don't give it too much milk because it can give it diarrhea. And it'll drink water. Oh, the movie's called August Rush, and it's about following the music. You should see if you can find it. You would probably really enjoy it. But it's kind of only for people who feel the music. I think that's a good way to describe it. Yeah, you have to understand music, and you definitely understand music. Okay, you guys are only an inch long, no spawning. Well, thank you for stopping by and have sweet dreams. And you keep smiling too. Smiling has actually been proven to be good for your health because it actually does make you happy. Either that or it breaks your face. Yeah, that's probably true. I've never checked into keeping octopi. Octopussies. Okay, so everybody put in their favorite food. Your absolute favorite. Like if you could only eat one more food for the rest of your life, what would you choose? It's really a hard decision. And you won't suffer ill effects. Because, like, somebody may just want to eat chocolate cake for the rest of their life. Yeah, I think I pretty much know the answer to all the favorite questions. You do have a good point. It would be pretty boring. I mean, after a while, to eat the same thing over and over. Okay, how about if you guys could choose? Well, except see, choosing only breakfast, lunch, or dinner doesn't make any sense because, like, I eat a lot of breakfast food for dinner. Just because it says it's supposed to be for breakfast doesn't mean you can't have it. And, like, you can't even say chicken fried steak is a dinner food because they serve it at breakfast, or pork chops for breakfast. Yeah, I like all different kinds of shrimp, except sort of deep fried shrimp because that's more like you don't get the shrimp so much as a lot of breading. I want an egg salad sandwich, but that just means I have to get off my butt and cook hard boiled eggs. I don't think anybody here knows how to cook hard boiled eggs. My boyfriend's allergic to eggs, so he doesn't like really cook eggs. He can eat eggs if they're like cooked in cakes and stuff, but not like just eggs, eggs. My mom always used to make us soft boiled eggs. I like poached eggs or eggs in toast, whatever you may call that, because there's a million names for it. Like egg in the hole, toad in the hole. But I guess for toad in the hole, you'd have to have green eggs and ham with it. like waffles and omelets. Omelets are really good because you can throw whatever you want in an omelet. I think breakfast and dinner are definitely the most interesting meals. And of course, dessert. I really like cheesecake. My brother makes a killer cheesecake. But since he's in South Carolina, I don't get it very often. Like, if at all. Although he's supposed to be coming out here to visit when, I think in July, when his second grandchild is due. Yeah, I usually only eat dinner too. Well, that sucks. The Nikon Coolpix are supposed to be pretty decent for the price. Um, yeah, very dark videos don't work. Um, yeah, give it a go. I miss your videos. And then we can see the kitty kitty and the fishes. Oh, and I really liked your swamp. That's a cool swamp. I don't think I've ever seen in our lake, I don't think I've ever seen all the little daphne and bugs and stuff. I may go up to Canyonlone Lakes, which have a lot of marsh grass and stuff. Oh yeah, chocolate mud cake. That's really good for chocolate cravings. Really good for chocolate cravings because you get soft chocolate, hard chocolate, it has all kinds of different textures in the mud cake. My mom's friend used to make a chocolate cake, which was so chocolate you could only eat like 2 bites of it because it was just so rich. I mean, you could have made like miniature brownies or miniature, cupcakes and have that cake last forever. Chocolate desserts are the best. Hey, what you doing, Big Tank Cake? Thanks for dropping by. Watching fish and talking food. Oh, here's a good one. Do you prefer ham, sausage, or the link sausage with breakfast? Wow, it's dry. So are the Daphne and stuff like brine shrimp? They can stay like suspended in animation, something like that, hibernation, until the water comes again. Ah, link sausage. Some nice hot links. Because I would think if it dried, all the little creatures in it would die. But I guess if they're in an area where that does get droughts and dry out, the things learn to survive without water. Because I know that we have buffalo toads, and they can survive like years under the ground until it gets really wet, and then they all come out and breed like crazy. And it's been pretty dry, so I haven't seen them for the last few years. But one year when we had a lot of monsoons, there were like toads everywhere. Yeah, I should go check out our lake level. I haven't been up there for a couple months. Once the snowpack starts melting, then we'll have more water. Freezing cold water. But I'll have to go down and see if we have creatures in the water besides, crawdads and fish and another thing to do. And then the question is, how do I get down to the water? So I wonder what the Army Corps of Engineers thinks about someone driving a scooter on the boat ramp. Yeah, well, that sounds reasonable because that's like brine shrimp. Oh, and the syndinosis says, "Leave me alone, you stupid little critters." Ah, Bigfoot. I was watching cave videos, both wet and dry caves. In one of the creeks up here, we have Mexican tetras, which are, well, when they're in a cave, they're the Mexican blind cave fish, but the ones we have here can see because they don't live in a cave. I think all we have out here is chupacabras and fake jackalopes. I always love those videos. It has like, what's the latest one? I think it's a giraffe with elk horns or something. Real animals you can't believe exist. It's like, yeah, because they don't exist. They're photoshopped. There's enough weird animals out there without people having to Photoshop them. I would love to go into a cave though and see, cave fish and stuff. Yeah, so um, that would be about the only way the Daphnia would survive. I think a chupacabra is a mangy coyote, personally. And coyotes and dogs do not breed. Their genetics is too far apart. Dogs can breed with wolves, but not coyotes. And there's even like a coyote dog um, registration group, and it's like my one of my veterinarians did her thesis on coyote dogs, and they just can't do it. Yeah, I really think that they're, like, God, what is it called? Mange. I think they're coyotes with mange. Because if you look at the shapes of their faces, they kind of have like coyote faces. But any mangy dog could be mistaken for a chupacabra or a hound type dog, something that had a nose. And they're just, I mean, it's sort of like hairless rats. They're so ugly because you're used to them having, fur. So a dog without fur looks kind of weird, especially when they're all scaly. Dermidex, that's it. We've had a couple rescue dogs that had that Dermidex mange, and they were pretty nasty looking animals. I mean, once they grew fur back, they were absolutely beautiful. But until they got fur back, they're pretty nasty looking creatures. Because they get all wrinkly and scaly and itchy, and they're just not happy. Of course, I wouldn't be happy either. And Dermidex takes so long to get rid of. The part of the reason is Dermidex is so bad is because they get it when their immune systems are down. So not only do you have to treat the mites, you have to get their immune systems back up and going. And after a dog's been starved or anything's been starving for a while, it takes some. Is it anything like the sugar gliders? Quokka. Here we go. Quokka. Okay, probably 2Ks is enough. Oh, a little wallaby. Ooh, the size of a cat. That's a good size. Yeah, I went to my pet store the other day to get mice for my snakes. And he said, well, if you'll pardon me, I'll go back to, I don't know where Roundhouse is. I know he's alive. He texted me yesterday, I think. $1,300 for a pair of sugar gliders. And it was like, holy, I should have kept breeding sugar gliders. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool Australian marsupials. I really like the sugar gliders. And they were easy to feed, too. I want a shoebill. If I could have a bird, I'd have a shoebill. Sort of a dinosaur bird, Maybe Roundhouse got lost in a roundhouse. I kind of expected him to be here. Or he's off cop watching. No. They're all looking down on the ground to see if there's any food that they Oh no. That's horrible. I'll just have to become a fish smuggler. Where are the politicians who like fish and snakes and lizards and spiders? I know politicians don't like anything. Yeah, lizards, snakes, spiders, reptiles. Well, they're not taking what I have away from me. I'll just have to become a fish smuggler. Transmission of pathogens at this particular point in time is a really dumb idea, a dumb excuse. They just can't figure out how to make a lot of money off of it. So when are they going to ban chickens? Yeah, Ed's home. He spent 3 hours at the hospital waiting. His dad's truck died or car died. Well, I guess I have always considered TB not one of the risks because I grew up with it, but it was just fish TB. Ew. Because there's a lot of TB in the Native Americans, so I always got TB tests growing up. Um, if you're gonna get sick and die, you're gonna get sick and die. I mean, but how many cases of airborne fish TB are they? Oh well, yeah, Africa's pretty bad for um, invasive bacterias and viruses and pathogens and jiggers. Those are so gross. I wouldn't make it well in Africa. My other reason for not living in the South is because of worms that get into your feet if you're barefoot. Well, next it'll be chickens, and then pigs. No, probably, well, no, because there's a big, huge outbreak of bird flu. Well, yeah, because it's tropical, it's wet and humid. There's, I mean, Siberia is probably one of the places with the least number of pathogens. But who wants to live in Siberia? Except for the Siberians. I mean, I like cold weather, but I mean, I think that's below my threshold for cold tolerance. And heating bills in Siberia must be outrageous. Well, I guess they're just paranoid about. Well, since COVID, everybody's worried about viruses and bacteria and germs. I mean, we're bringing up a whole generation of people who are going to use way too much hand sanitizer and have no immunity to anything. I can see Planet of the Apes coming. They'll do away with our fish and our reptiles and our lizards and turtles. Then they'll do away with rats and rabbits and chinchillas and gerbils and hamsters, squirrels. But when they go after the cats and dogs, we'll just be left with having to have chimpanzees and orangutans and gorillas. That's a bad idea. Chimpanzees are a bad idea. Spider monkeys. And then it'll truly be a Planet of the Apes. Well, if it passed in Europe, the Lacey Act will probably pass here, which is really bad. Get your fish now. Quick, quick. It's like, but is, 3 or 4 cases over a lifetime enough to ban a whole species? Yeah, I don't want a monkey either. And sadly, with laws like that, there's no compensation for the people who live off of like online stores for whatever species they're breeding. You just kind of lose your business. A lot of fish stores would go out of business because they can't get fish or they can't find people to breed them. Truly sad. Well, the home breeding actually has helped some fish from going extinct. And they've actually been able to reintroduce fish in some places that had gone extinct but were still being bred in captivity. But all that would end. Yeah, that's definitely true. No man breeding is the same as Mother Nature breeding. That's because man can't leave things alone and breed them how they're supposed to be. Man always has to try and change the way something looks to suit his own desires. I mean, God help us when they start doing that to people. everybody will be blonde, blue-haired. No, blonde, blue-eyed, and fair of complexion. Yeah, hybridizing, at least for in-tank breeding, does um, spread out the genetics, but then you get weird hybrids. Yeah, genetic misfits like my dwarf platinum parrot, who didn't make it. Yeah, the inbreeding, because what were they? They were some sort of guppy that I had that, because of all the line and inbreeding, they've gotten sort of tubular shaped. I didn't like them at all. But I got a couple of them back from my friend. And they're pretty old, so they won't, I don't think they'll live very much longer because they are guppies. But hopefully, if they breed with something other than their, they breed with the mutt guppies, it'll strengthen their genes. What is a notch gene? Okay, now I'm paying attention to StreamYards. Yeah, that's true. Um, just because, unless you're getting it from like Luke Roebuck, it's not. Yeah, well, it's because people don't know how, how to breed them correctly. It's like the first sets of guppies that I got, they didn't look anything like the real show standard guppies of their type. Wow, 10 years, that's a lot of guppy generations. You could have guppies that don't even resemble the Roebuck Reds at all. That's a lot of generations of guppies. That's for sure. Well, he just refined them. I mean, my friend's been working on those purple metallic shrimp forever, trying to get them to breed true. I don't think unless one person, unless you like totally had a dedicated fish room, that one person would be able to refine any fish. I think it takes a group working together. It takes a village to raise a fish. Or is that a child? Oh, that's pretty funny. He never won the red class? I don't know. I was never fond of red fish. I like blue fish and yellow fish and orange fish. Well, kind of not orange fish. Now, red and green fish, I like red and green fish, but that's it. They could call the ruby greens um, the Christmas fish for Christmas chili. Doug Gray has some interesting guppies and nice guppies. Wow. I know I've seen so many guppies that have like the same name, but obviously aren't like the same type of guppy. Because there's like so many different kinds of guppies. They're like chihuahuas. There's over 69 different kinds of chihuahuas. So is it like, is red, because I know they described Palomino horses as either three shades lighter or three shades darker than a gold coin. So is there like a certain red that is best for the red class, like standard wise, like a red rather than an orange red, or a light red? I'll have to look up red guppies. And on that note, it's been almost 2 hours and almost 20 minutes. So I'm going to go and get some sleep. I'm fooling myself. I'm going to go and turn off lights and relax. So thank you everybody for coming. I'll see you guys next Monday. and I'll check out some of these red guppies. And hopefully by next week I will have at least one section of my room done, because I'm bound and determined now to get it done. It's spring cleaning. Oh, that's a scary thought. So everybody, sweet dreams, good food, and I'll see you on Monday.